What is going on, guys? Pat Damiano here, and today we're going to be learning how to do a Mace 360. Before we go any further, are you using kettlebell complexes in your training? Because if you're not, you should be. They are one of the best ways to do fun, time-efficient, and effective full-body strength and conditioning workouts. And I'm going to make it super easy for you to implement them. Go ahead and click the first link in my description below so you can get your hands on my list of my 20 best and favorite kettlebell complexes sent directly to you for free. You won't regret it. Now, in a perfect world scenario, you're going to be starting out with a mace that is very light for you, and you can start out by doing everything we're about to go over with your mace upside down, so all of the weight is on the bottom. That way you don't have to fight any of the weight, and you can very slowly go through the motions that we're going to go over without having to worry about the weight being an issue. Now, another way to get around that, if you want, and the way that I'm going to be demonstrating today, is just grabbing a PVC pipe or a broomstick. Something that is fairly long in length and going to be very light, so you don't have to worry about fighting any weight. The Mace 360 comes down to three main cues, and we're going to break it down cue by cue. Now, before we get into the cues, one of the first things people like to ask about is which hand should I have on top? I like to tell people just go with whichever one you feel comfortable doing. If you're a righty, there's a good chance your right hand's on top. Lefty, good chance your left hand's going to be on top. But again, try both and go with whichever one feels comfortable, and don't necessarily worry about switching hands until you feel comfortable going over both shoulders with the hand that you feel most comfortable being on top. And like I said, that might take you a few reps to figure out, so don't worry too much about it in the beginning. Now, the first cue we're going to go over is block the sword. So what you're going to do is hold your mace like so, and what you're going to do is imagine that somebody is going to come chop your body in half with a sword. So what do you need to do to block that sword? You're going to not only tilt your sword to the side, but you're also going to lift it up. If I just tilt here, I can still get chopped in half. If I just lift up, I can still get chopped in half. So I need to lift up and tilt to the side. Our second cue from there is going to be comb our hair back. So I want you to imagine you are slicking or combing your hair back as far as you can. This is going to make sure that our hands are getting behind our head as much as we can. So you're standing in front of me right now, my hands are disappeared behind my head. So I like to tell people that if I'm watching you do your Mace 360 in front of you, your hands should disappear for a split second. If you're not sure that they are, go ahead and film yourself or hop in front of a mirror. So we have block the sword, comb your hair back, and then our third cue is going to be put your seatbelt on. So we're going to be using our elbows and our torso to pull our hands back over our opposite shoulder and get this mace back into position with my hands landing right around my belly button. So again, our three cues are going to be block the sword, comb our hair back, and then put our seatbelt on. Now what you're going to do is just go as slow as I just showed you. Break the movement down as much as you need to just start to tell your body and your brain what is happening. So again, break it up like this. Block the sword, hold for a second, assess your situation and where you're at. Comb your hair back. Are your hands behind your head? Put your seatbelt on. Did the mace come back into position? Are your hands around your belly button, and is the mace not falling forward? Go through that checklist as slow as you possibly need to with a PVC pipe, a broomstick, or your mace upside down. Then from there, what you're going to do is just slowly take those pauses out. We're still using our PVC pipe, broomstick, or mace that is upside down, and we're just going to go block the sword, comb our hair back, and put our seatbelt on. Block the sword, comb our hair back, put the seatbelt on, and you continue to just make that one fluid motion until you feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Once you feel comfortable doing that, we are going to now start to get weight in our hands. If you were holding your mace upside down, you are now going to flip it right side up. But what you are going to do first is hold your hands nice and high towards the head of the mace. So you are nice and choked up. This should be fairly comfortable unless you screwed up and bought the wrong size mace. If that's the case, let me know and I'll tell you which size you should start with. But what we're going to do here is now go through those pauses again. We should have a weight that is comfortable for us to go block the sword, comb the hair back, put the seatbelt on. And from there, as we start to get a little bit more comfortable, we can just make it a little bit more fluid the same way that we did with our PVC pipe or broomstick or mace that was upside down. And then it's pretty straightforward from there. Once you feel comfortable with your hands here, go ahead and get your hands a little bit lower, block the sword, comb your hair back, seatbelt. You feel comfortable from there, get your hands a little bit lower, block the sword, comb the hair back, put your seatbelt on, and so on. And you just keep working your hands down your mace until you're on the bottom and you feel pretty comfortable going through that motion. And that right there is the quick and dirty on how to do a Mace 360. I hope that helped you out. If it did, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.